Hello, hello, hello. Happy summer, everyone. I've got my Hawaiian shirt on. Got my summery cocktail. Yum, yum. People are all on holiday. The Van Goghs have been to Germany. They were briefly in the same country as F&B for presidents. What fun, what fun. One day we'll do a trivia meetup, maybe. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? We're currently on a different continent to most of our players. How's everyone feeling though? It's from the chat, sounds like everyone is soaking up some similar weather to, well, we've had some hot weather. We also had a bit of a storm earlier in the week. We had another power outage. Blimey, I tell ya. This Midwestern weather takes some getting used to. I know the big day is very close as well to the Van Goghs. This is a pre-wedding holiday. We've got some of the rounds named in honor of your big day today. A little birdie told me you guys are getting married. So let's have a look at some of those rounds. Let's see what we've got coming up today. So it's our summer edition. Summer is all about picnics, summer weddings. Of course, it's Pride Month as well. So we'll be starting off with some general knowledge. Then we've got something old, something new, and just because it's before the intermission, we're going to interrupt the wedding round with some okie dokie karaoke. And then back to the little wedding couplets. We've got something borrowed and something blue. So a little bit of a wedding theme today to honor some of our longest term, most long-term quiz team. Then round 7, sandwich for a nice summer picnic. And closing out with some more general knowledge. So, I hope you're all ready. I've been to the barber since you last seen me, but they went a bit easy. They went a bit light on the beard. Oh well, what can you do? I think this is just the Midwest style compared to the more severe Romania style. Anyway, let's get summary. Jessica wasn't sure how I should go on buttons here. I said this level of buttons makes it look like I'm going to a business meeting at a golf course. But then she said this, too much. Maybe she's right. She's usually right. All right. So if everyone's in, you know the deal. I think we've got quite a lot of rounds this week where you're going to need to be extra sure that you hit that green submit button, because there are just a few rounds this week where it's on the page after the last question and not on the page with the last question on it. So easy to forget. So just remember to be on the lookout for that. But otherwise, let's get things underway. 0 buttons is the logical option there. As soon as we get the voice recognition software fully up to date for our spot, we'll be on our way. But let's have a look at round 1. So it is, as usual, general knowledge. And question 1. Euro 2020 finally kicked off this week with hosting duties being shared between 11 different countries. But which stadium is scheduled to host the final? Is that the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, Allianz Arena in Munich, Wembley Stadium in London, or the Arena Națională in Bucharest? I get 0 buttons on the shirt, I see. Shirt buttons, submit buttons. I should get a shirt with green buttons just to remind people. Okay, question 2. Which nautical tattoo traditionally symbolized that the wearer had crossed the Atlantic? Is that the swallow, the anchor, the nautical star, or the crossed cannons? Donna, not really a thing here. You can get a euro. Oh, euro, right? And I, love Greek food, but doesn't quite scratch the itch that Adonna does. Question 3. The UK recently reported 2 diagnosed cases of what rare disease? Is that monkeypox, donkeypox, cowpox, or toadpox? And question 4 for this round. What term is commonly used instead of spaghetti western in Japan to describe Italian-made westerns, especially the Italian-made westerns of the 70s that the term spaghetti western typically refers to? Is that a ravioli western, a macaroni western, a mozzarella western, or a tiramisu western? Trivia police, right on cue. They're just ringing up to check we are remaining under house arrest. They don't want us to take this show on the road. All right, question 5. What is the name of the unconventionally shaped futuristic city which has been planned in Saudi Arabia? So this city does not exist yet. It is still in the planning stages. Is it the Star, the Ring, the Line, or the Triangle? So you may or may not have heard about this. It's these planned cities that seem to be all the rage. Egypt's doing one as well. They're planning to replace Cairo as their capital with a fully constructed city from the ground up. Sometimes they work out well, sometimes not so well. As far as I know, the the Egyptian one is not planning anything as wacky as what's being planned in Saudi Arabia, though. I personally think that often, not always, cities that kind of grow over a long time develop in a kind of organic way that is not inefficient. The Dutch of well, I mean, what is a proper doner really? When I'm thinking of a doner, I also, I want some chips in there, some, garlic sauce. I'm probably not thinking of the most authentic Turkish experience anyway. So, yeah, I can forgive some liberties. The European style doner, I guess, is what I'm really thinking of. You can see the questions should still be cycling on screen there. I believe the Canadians, like in the maritime provinces, they have a similarly adapted take on the doner, or doner, I believe they call it. They've Frenchified it a bit, as is their wont. Those, what are they? Acadians? Yeah, German is like the prototypical, the real deal. When you think of like a European doner, you're thinking of that German doner, Turkish immigrant communities in Berlin and stuff. All right, so get your answers in, guys. Don't forget to hit submit. Tangy. Just make sure all windows that I can close are closed. Where does everyone stand on chips in flatbread or wrap or tortilla-based sandwich in general? Because I know this is I saw a minor controversy. I can't remember if it was on Twitter or Facebook the other day, where people were discussing the California burrito, and it's a Southern California staple to get French fries in a burrito. People were very divided on that issue. So for me, chips in a doner, very normal. Actually, I'd be disappointed if I didn't get chips in a doner. Well, that's the thing. I guess in a doner, I'd expect a British style chip, but in a California burrito, they're doing French fries. Oh man, don't even get me started. We take it to the next level in England. We have chip butty, nothing else. It's the only thing you need in a sandwich, just butter and chips. All right, but I see Arspot's made his appearance. That means everyone's got their answers in. So let's reveal the answers. Oh my God, the tinfoil wrapper. That probably did not come out very painlessly. Wembley Stadium will host the final of Euro 2020, Euro 2021, however you want to refer to it. Still technically Euro 2020, I think. Got revenge on Croatia the other day. The anchor would traditionally signify that it had two possible meanings, either that the wearer had crossed the Atlantic or was a merchant marine. Of the other ones, we said you got a swallow for every 5,000 nautical miles that you traveled. So you often see the pairs on the chest like that. You got a nautical star was supposed to ensure that you always found your way home. Cross cannons symbolized naval service or military service. All right, and it was monkeypox. A couple of cases in Wales. So the disease normally only found in Central Africa, but someone apparently had returned from the region and must have been carrying, must have been a carrier for that infection. So a couple of cases diagnosed in Wales. Jessica does not believe in monkeypox. It's not. So it doesn't come from monkeys. It's not like they went out and they were like walking through the rainforest and came across a sick monkey. It got its name because it was first observed in lab monkeys. It's just a person. It's a virus that affects people primarily, but was first. It can affect monkeys and was first observed in lab monkeys. That's where the name comes from. Macaroni Western, commonly used in Japan. Don't know why they go for macaroni over spaghetti. Maybe it's just more iconically associated with Italy than spaghetti is over there. Who's to say? And it's the line. I mean, the plan is very strange. It's literally just a east to west line, a very narrow band. It's going to be built apparently on 3 layers, with like high-speed rail as the bottom layer. It's supposed to be a car-free, like 100-mile long city or something. I don't know what you're supposed to do if you live at one end and you need to get to the other end. I guess in theory, you just would have everything you need within a certain stretch of you. But like, what if your mate lives down the other end? Anyway, forget about that. Let's not quibble with the questionable urban planning of Mohammed bin Salman's futuristic vision for Saudi Arabia. And let's take a look at the first scoreboard. F&B for presidents, great start, 4 points. Cormax flying solo, no points there, I'm afraid, for flying solo. So it's a pretty strong initial lead there for F&B for presidents. Let's go on to round 2, and this is the first of our wedding couplet rounds. Something old. So you know the little expression. Well, maybe you don't. I don't know if everyone has this, but something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Certainly in English-speaking countries, it's a thing. And our first round of these 4 is something old. I'm just going to give you two things, pairs of things, and you have to tell me which one is oldest, which one came into existence first. So first up, we've got Germany or Mexico, and we're not talking about the land masses or, to be clear, when did these become independent nation states in their current, more or less current form? So Germany or Mexico. So we're not talking about the Holy Roman Empire does not count as Germany, for instance, and imperial Spanish controlled Mexico would not count as Mexico. Second up, we've got nachos or crisps/chips. So very thin sliced, fried till crispy and salted crisps, not a big fat you have it with vinegar and fish chip, what an American would call a chip. I know we have some people who call crisps chips that play, so I've included both for their ease of use. Then number 3, humans arrive on Australia or Great Britain becomes an island. So which of those happened first? Which of those is the older historic event? Then we've got 2 characters here, Superman or Flash Gordon. Which character was created earlier? And our final one, we have 2 pieces of music. Flight of the Bumblebee or Ride of the Valkyries. There's a little video embedded in the form if you need to listen to them to just have your memories jogged of what those pieces of music sound like. Which of them was composed earlier? So we want the older piece of music there. So each of these is a 50-50 shot. So yeah, if you any of them you're just completely mind blank, head empty, no thoughts, just have a guess, and you have a 50% chance that you'll have the right answer anyway. On average, you'll get 2.5 points this round. Unfortunately, we don't give out half points for average performances. You can't just select like take average and get your auto 2.5 points. But yeah, remember for each one we want the older one. With Superman and Flash Gordon, we're talking date of character creation, not the canonical age of the character. But all the other ones, I think, pretty self-explanatory. I'm feeling pretty Jimmy Buffett right now. Feeling like a parrot head. If long-time quizzers will remember, we did a round on that a few months ago. What are different fans of different musicians called? I'm in full parrot head mode right now. Ah, there's a parrot head cup somewhere in this house. Could have used that. Oh well. I think I've chosen a pretty summary one, as is. And here's our spot. That means it's time to reveal the answers. So yeah, Mexico. I think I've got some dates here. Mexico gained independence from Spain in 1821. The various German-speaking peoples of Europe united in 1871. So Mexico, 50 years older. Crisps or chips were created according to the story in 1853. They might predate it a bit. And nachos in 1940. So about 90 years older. Humans first arrived in Australia, or the earliest fossil evidence for humans in Australia is from about 65,000 years ago. And evidence suggests that the land bridge between the British Isle, or between Great Britain and kind of like Denmark, kind of part of Europe, could have existed up until 8,500 years ago, around the time of the agricultural revolution. Then Flash Gordon is the older character by a hair. I think 1934 versus 1938 for Flash Gordon. And the older piece of music is the Ride of the Valkyries. I didn't get the dates lined up for those, but take my word for it, it's a bit older. So let's have a look at the scores after that. And Pine Tree Inc., perfect 5 there, takes them into second place. F&V for Presents holding on to first with another strong performance. So we've got Cormax on 5 points, the Van Goghs on 4. Flying Solo got 3 points there. Well done getting off the boards. And it's, nice, even separation all the way down. That's what I like to see. Makes for some interesting shuffling as we go ahead. All right, round 3 is we're going from something old to something new. So we had old cool school style picture of a lady by a pool. Now we've got a robot by a pool. Everyone's chilling out in the pool. And for something new, we got just 5 questions about modern tech stuff, things that are on the cutting edge right now. They're all multiple choice. So first off, we've heard about NFTs in the news quite a lot recently. What does the F stand for? Is it falsifiable, fragmented, or fungible? So what is the F in NFT? Question 2. What country became the first in the world to approve the sale of lab-cultured meat last year? Was that Singapore, Belgium, or Uruguay? Question 3. Which billionaire recently announced his plan to travel into space for 11 minutes next month? Was that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Richard Branson? Okay. Question 4. Which company unveiled a fleet of driverless delivery robots called Same Day Bot last year? Was that Amazon, UPS, or FedEx? And our final tech question for the something new round. What was the name of the rejected Samsung digital assistant character who took the unreasonably horny side of the internet by storm earlier this month? Was that Samantha, Sunny, or Jihyun? So this was any of you who have Samsung phones, you'll know instead of Siri, there's currently Bixby. I basically never use Bixby, but he's there if I need him. And a Brazilian marketing firm came up with a new character complete with character art that could replace Bixby for Samsung. They did not end up going forward with this digital assistant, but what was her name? Everyone drew porn of this character within about 5 seconds of finding out about her existence. Yeah, Bixby just isn't very good. It's probably like the biggest weak point of using a Samsung. As far from what I've heard, Siri is apparently quite good. I've never used an iPhone. I just use the Google Assistant. I know they're probably harvesting my mind grapes, but oh well, nothing I can do about it. So we've got some techie questions there. All of this stuff is stuff that's been in like kind of tech news within the last probably 6 months or so. So I guess it really depends how much you keep up with that kind of thing. I'm curious about lab-grown meat. I generally find Samsungs to be very good. I have used Samsungs for years now. Very few problems. I just don't use Bixby. Yeah, the Google Home is creepy. It harasses me. Since we got to America, we got like the little Alexa style Google Home thing. And while I'm teaching, so I teach from this same office space, and it will sometimes just think like random things that I've said are its trigger phrase, and it'll just start like yelling at me while I'm trying to teach a lesson, and it'll be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat yourself?" Or whatever the fuck it says. I'm like, "I'm not talking to you. Please stop interrupting my lesson." Luckily, it hasn't interrupted a stream yet, although I guess, you know, I managed to interrupt the stream myself in worse ways. So, I could always kick over a camera, I suppose, if I'm looking for an interruption. All right, I think we're just waiting on one team, so make sure you've hit submit. I think this is one of the rounds where the submit button is the page after the last question. Oh, I see. Jessica very conscientiously unplugs the Google Home. And that is Askbot himself. He's made an appearance. So let's take a look at the answers. Yeah, they are non-fungible tokens. I'm not sure what fungible means. Something to do with mushrooms. Then we've got Singapore approved the sale as like lab cultured chicken for I think it's at the chicken nugget stage. I don't think it's really like I don't think you're getting tendies just yet. But but I'd be curious to try it. Although the Beyond Meat stuff kind of got good enough just in time that I don't think anyone really cares that much anymore. Yeah, Jeff Bezos. Have you seen the rocket? Very dickish. It's an extremely phallic rocket. I don't know why it's got balls, but it's got balls. Yeah, he's off to space. Don't come back. And FedEx have those weird little mini, like they go on the pavement, on the sidewalk, little driverless boxes of boxes. And Samantha was that proposed digital assistant character, like Sam for Samsung. All right, let's see how everyone did there. So we'll see an updated scoreboard in just a second. And F&B for Presidents holding on to that 2-point lead. It's been a steady 2-point lead the whole time, and steady is the name of the game. 4 points, 4 points, 4 points. And then Pine Tree Inc. still in second place with 10. Cormax and the Van Goghs tied on 8. So it goes 2-point gap, 2-point gap, and then a 3-point gap to Flying Solo with 5 points. All right. Things heating up a little. And it's time for round 4, the last round before the intermission. Oh, Jessica has kindly found. Oh, it doesn't have. The balls are not as bally as I remembered. I think I must have seen an edit that someone decided to make look ballier. But it does. That is a dick. That's a dick. Why does it look like that? Okay. On to round 4. It's our music round. And who wouldn't want a karaoke pool party in this Pride Month? So all of the songs this week are gay anthems. So they all have something of a reputation as being kind of gay anthems. And the little gimmick this week is that instead of using the actual songs, we've found the karaoke backing tracks. So, you know, if you go to use a karaoke machine, it will be that kind of sounds a little bit kind of Casio keyboard demo trackified version of the backing track. They usually don't use the original backing tracks. Yeah, we're not gonna try and Google Samantha. That's a recipe for disaster. But yeah, so we're going to hear little 15-second clips of the karaoke backing tracks for 5 gay anthems. And as usual with our music rounds, 10 points available here. So you can get a point for both the song and the artist for each of these. Let's hear our first one. All right, just want to check everyone could hear that, because however I have my thing set up, I couldn't hear it. But as long as you guys could, we're all good. All right, let's hear the second clip.
You better listen.
Yeah, I had it set up to come out of the wrong thing. My unplugged speakers is supposed to be coming out of. All right, let's hear number 3. While I was writing this round and selecting, I was like looking at lists of famous gay anthems. I said to Jessica, "These aren't all gay anthems. These are just popular songs." And Jessica pointed out, "I've just got a very gay taste in music." Let's hear that next clip. All right, so that was number 4. We've got one more gay anthem to name. So remember, there are 2 points available for each. So remember, 2 points available for each of these. One for the song title, one for the artist. So in some of these might lean a little bit on the one-hit wonder side, so it might be easier to get one than the other. Yes, these are things that I love. I love disco music. I'm unapologetic. I love the pop divas of recent years. And the 90s, and also the 80s and 70s. Okay, so it is the media rounds. Those clips are embedded in the question form, and these ones do take a little bit longer. You've got a lot to type in, 10 potential answers, and you might want to re-listen to clips. So we're going to cut to the intermission. We'll give you a few moments of quiet to re-listen to clips at the start there if you need it. And then we'll play the intermission video, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I think I'm going to go take an allergy pill. See you in a second. Okay, so I think almost everyone got in during the interval this time. We're just waiting on one team. So if it's you, think about what your guesses are and get them entered. And we'll see what those iconic songs were. Gotta get a few ahs in every week. Yeah, it's so I see Jessica could not Google the Samsung Assistant, but somehow if you Google Jeff Bezos penis rocket, it's fine. Oh man, I wonder if there's any crossover art of the two. Just, fans of corporations in general. Okay, so guesses, and we will reveal. This really got me in the mood for some karaoke. I could go for some karaoke now. I would do all of these songs at karaoke. But yes, if it is you who's still getting those answers submitted, we're gonna stick up the 30-second timer now, and after that, we're just gonna have to take whatever's submitted. Oh, the timer ending prematurely indicates to me that someone already had their finger hovering over the submit button. So let's have a look at those answers. First up, we heard I've actually written I'm Coming Out on the answer form, so definitely we're giving points for that. The song's I'm Coming Up, but yeah, definitely understandable to say I'm Coming Out, which I wrote, and that's why you would also definitely get a full point for that. Yeah, Diana Ross, I'm Coming Up, or I'm Coming Out, either's good. Next one, we've got It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. Then we've got Believe by Cher. After that, we've got Born This Way by Lady Gaga. And our fifth and final song that we heard was I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. So let's see how everyone did there. A lot of points up for grabs. And all these 10-point rounds can always shake things up a bit. I was paying attention. I just thought that was the name of the song. Okay, so let's have a look. Did anyone get a perfect 10? I mean, a 10-point swing would be enough to take to completely flip the table. And but F&B for Presidents managed the perfect 10, holding on to the lead. But it is a huge climb for the Van Goghs, also getting a perfect 10, puts them in second place. I'm telling you, these 10-point rounds. Max Enterprise got 5 there, so they hold on to third place. Pine Tree Inc. dropping to fourth. Gay Anthems, not Pine Tree's strong suits. Flying Sally got 3 points, so they're up on. They're up to 8 points. But F and B for Presidents having quite the run. Okie doke. So, well done, Matt. Another man of taste, I see. And you got a good one there, Kelsey. Jessica knows. So let's move on to the next round, round 5. And we are back to the couplet. This time, the Something Borrowed, Something Blue half. So with Something Borrowed, so they actually saved me some question writing duty because we have borrowed questions from famous TV quiz shows. So first up, from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? This was actually a £1 million question on the infamous coughing scandal episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. A number one followed by 100 zeros is known by what name? Is that a Google, a Megatron, a Gigabit, or a Nanomole? Would you have needed someone coughing in the audience to get this one? Okay, question 2 comes from Jeopardy! This was one of the many Final Jeopardies faced by Ken Jennings on his record-breaking run. This is actually one of the ones that he failed to get. So, you better at Jeopardy than Ken Jennings. In the NATO phonetic alphabet, Alpha, Bravo, etc., the two that are title Shakespearean characters. So, because there are two answers here, don't worry, you are not required to answer in the form of a question, although you would be in Jeopardy. Well, our spot's not cut out for that. So there are just two fields for the two answers. So this is a 6-point round. So you could get 2 points here. Okay, our next one is from Wheel of Fortune. And this was the final puzzle from the episode with the highest ever payout in Wheel of Fortune history. You can see the category is around the house. And you can see the letters that were already filled in. You can see the letters that were guessed. So as always, the contestant started with R.L. Stein, children's author R.L. Stein, and then also chose CDMA as additional letters, and revealing LEA blank blank, and the second word blank A blank CET. So can you complete the puzzle? Just type in the full answer into the answer field. Next one comes from Blockbuster. Probably not as well known as some of the other quiz shows on this list, unless you're my age and from the UK. This one was a big one in the 80s and early 90s in Britain, a daytime quiz show where you the question always gave you the first letter of the answer. You had to work your way. There was as you can see, a honeycomb shaped grid with different letters on, and you'd be like, "Can I have a P, please, Bob?" And then he'd ask you a question. This P, blah, blah, blah. So this one, what A is a condition caused by a shortage of hemoglobin in the blood? So the answer begins with A. What A is a condition caused by a shortage of hemoglobin in the blood? And number 5, the last one. This is from an episode of Celebrity Masterminds that aired last year. It aired in the UK, but I'm pretty sure this went viral around the world, the answer that was given. So we are actually going to take both the actual answer or the answer that was given in this episode. Either of those will give you the point. So the 2019 book entitled No One is Too Small to Make a Difference is a collection of speeches made by a Swedish climate change activist. What's her name? So you can either give the correct answer to the question, or if you remember when this moment went viral, you can give the answer that the contestant gave. So those are our borrowed questions. So some of them will be multiple choice. Some, I think most of them are type in the answer. So we'll give you a second to get that done. So most of them from fairly notable moments in the show's history, apart from Blockbuster, which most notable moment is some people still remember that show existed. They're just a surprisingly few, like, really just like trivia-based game shows on TV. I was like running through lists of famous game shows, and it's all just like they either technically include like a trivia aspect as like to as a side mechanic to the main thing of like we're doing Plinko, or they just are completely like we're doing cards, we're playing 21, like blackjack. We called it 21 when I was a kid. Because blackjack was this other weird little game where the the winner was entirely decided by how the cards were dealt. Just kind of a little. I don't know if anyone ever played that game, but it was dumb. All right. Yes, I should write a game show. I'd be good at it. The amount of questions I've written over the last. How long have we been at this? 8 months. I think I could develop a game show for TV. Okay, I'm just making a ruling here. All right, so we're just waiting on one person to get their answers in. And I'm a generous King Solomon here. I'll say the ruling I just made was in favor of the quizzer. Could have gone either way. I'm a benevolent ruler. It's just those summer vibes, man. Okay, so if it's you, make sure if you think like I've got all my answers in, can't be me. Just have a look at the phone. Make sure you haven't just gone through to the next page that has that green submit button on it. Although we're moving at quite a clip tonight, so don't worry about it too much. Okay, so there's our spot. That means you're all in. Let's have a look at the answers. So, the infamous Major Charles Ingram coughing scandal. There are some truthers out there who maintain his innocence, and they reckon no, that's just normal subconscious tics when audience members know the answer. Yeah, a Google is a 1 followed by 100 zeros. A 1 followed by a Google zeros is a Googleplex. Then we've got Romeo and Juliet for R and J in the NATO phonetic alphabet. Ken Jennings went for Othello and Hamlet, which would be Hamlet's Hotel. O would be Oscar. Oscar is what O would be. Then next one we had the majority of our teams that beat Ken Jennings. So pat yourselves on the back. Better than the best. Leaky faucet was the answer there for the biggest ever Wheel of Fortune win. Look how excited Vanna is in that kind of a photograph of someone's TV. And we accepted some minor spelling errors as well. Anemia, either the American or the British spelling of anemia would do there for a shortage of hemoglobin. And finally, Greta Thunberg was the real answer, or as the contestant memorably said, Sharon. So either Greta or Sharon got you the point on that one. I'm counting that as another Pride Month moment because for some reason she was declared a gay icon after that clip. I think just gay Twitter particularly latched onto it. And let's move on. These nicknames. Let's move on to the next round. Oh, no, first of all, we can see the scores. F&B for President still in the lead. Van Gogh's chipping away at it, though. They got the full 6 to F&B for President's 5. So cutting the lead to 3 there. Corn Max on 19, Pine Tree 17, and Flying Solo on 12. So pretty high scoring all round in general so far this week. Let's see if you guys can keep that up with our final 3 rounds. But it does certainly seems like there are several teams still in the running for it this week. So round 6, Something Blue, the final of our wedding-themed rounds. It's not going to be about kind of disconcertingly blue cocktails on the beach. What we have here, 5 clues, and the solution to each clue is a 2-word answer, of which one of the words is blue. We just want the other word that answers each clue. So you'll see what I mean when I give you clue number 1. So blank blue. Development on this supercomputer began in 1985, and by 1997, it was capable of beating reigning world champion Garry Kasparov in a chess match. So we just want the other word. What word fills in the blank of this blue answer to give you the name of that supercomputer? So there'll be 5 clues of this nature, and we just want the other words to complete the name. So clue number 2, the answer is blue blank. The clue is Dennis Hopper's psychopathic Frank Booth prefers Pabst Blue Ribbon in this classic neo-noir thriller from David Lynch. So yes, just filling in the blank there. So Kyle MacLachlan, I've been years since I've seen the movie. I think he offers him a Heineken or says he's drinking a Heineken. It's like, I'm not going to attempt to mimic his delivery of the Pabst Blue Ribbon line, but it's a pretty famous moment in the movie. Okay, next one, blue blank. This trademark look of Derek Zoolander is suspiciously similar to his Magnum, Latigue, and Ferrari looks. So what was that Derek Zoolander? I'm going to try and mimic that. I don't have the cheekbones, but I guess the beard gives the illusion of cheekbones. That's why I have it. All right. Next one, the classic MJ one unreasonably difficult question per round move. The work of blank blue. The work of Darren Aronofsky borrows heavily from this influential anime thriller, which strangely also seemed to inspire a creepy stalker plotline in the cutesy Netflix hit Agretsuko. So what is the name of that famous anime thriller? It's from the 90s. I'll say the movies where Darren Aronofsky cribbed from this movie were Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan. Requiem for a Dream, he just stole basically shots. I'll say paid homage to shots, and also the plot of Black Swan is quite heavily influenced. And our final blue question, blue blank. In yet another breathtaking nature miniseries produced for the BBC. This time around, Sir David Attenborough introduces the viewer to the animal life of the world's oceans. So, blue blank. What is the blank there? So, one-word answers. Well, one word to make a 2-word answer that includes the word blue. Oh, 2 R's. I can't do that. This is getting ridiculous. It's an unreasonable number of R's. Just going to give a little top up. I think the cocktails take effect on camera a bit quicker than the beers do. All right, we're just waiting on one team. So if that's you, type in your answers and we'll see how you did. I just blew myself. If I'd allowed myself longer answers, then we could have done something with that, the Blue Man Group or something. But it might have been a bit too easy with all those extra words, or a bit too difficult for Arspot. Okay, but Arspot is ready to go. So he's calculating. Let's see what the answers were while he's filling in that scoreboard. So Deep Blue was that supercomputer developed by IBM. It beat Garry Kasparov. He alleged it cheated. I think building a computer that can cheat at chess is arguably more impressive than one that can win fair and square. Then Blue Velvet is that David Lynch movie with Dennis Hopper and Carl McLachlan. Blue Steel is the trademark look of Derek Zoolander, played by Ben Stiller. Perfect Blue, the anime thriller about a former idol group member in Japan who's being stalked. And then Blue Planet was that David Attenborough documentary miniseries. So how did everyone do there? Have Frankenbeans held on to their lead? They have. It's both 4 points apiece for F&B for Presidents and the Van Goghs. So that 3-point lead stays unchanged. And Cormax Enterprises stays in third place with a 3-point performance. Pine Tree Inc. with 2, Flying Solo with 3. Hugo of Cormax Enterprises has sent 3 emojis, but they're not displaying on in my browser, so who knows what he's feeling. Hopefully those are just emojis of pure joy. But let's move on to the next round. Which we are on now, round 7, I believe. We're almost done. And as is characteristic for our quizzes, round 7 is one of the matching rounds. So sandwich, it's picnic season. And nothing better for a picnic than a sandwich, except maybe a Scotch egg. Is a Scotch egg better? I'd say a Scotch egg's better. Bottle of wine, maybe. A few cans of Red Stripe. Okay, there are maybe some better things for a picnic than a sandwich, but sandwich is a pretty staple food for a picnic. We've got the names of 5 sandwiches here, and we will also give you the ingredients or the components. So we're not including bread, just the things that go between the bread or on the bread. Much like our own wedding karaoke sandwiches. Yes, pretty spot on. So the 5 sandwiches we'll see are the Cuban, the Elvis, the Hot Brown, the Reuben, and the St. Paul. So you're going to match these 5 types of sausages with their fillings. Sausages? Did I say sausages? Sandwiches. 3-syllable word beginning with S that is a tasty food. These 5 types of sandwiches with their fillings. So it's like when we've done the same thing with cocktails, non-alcoholic cocktails. I should have done this thing with non-alcoholic cocktails, I'll tell you that much. So first up, peanut butter, banana, and bacon. Which of those 5 sandwiches does that describe? Okay, next up we've got corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and Russian dressing. Number 3, egg foo young, pickles, onions, lettuce, and mayonnaise. Egg foo young, if you're not familiar, that's basically the omelet you get from a Chinese restaurant. I think this is typically done with a bean sprout egg foo young. A little bit of additional context for you there. Next up, we've got roast pork, ham, Swiss cheese again, yellow mustard, and pickles, green pickles. And number 5, turkey, bacon, and Mornay sauce. I think we included Mornay sauce in a question a couple of weeks ago about the French mother sauces. So we've got our 5 sandwiches. You're just going to match them to the fillings or toppings. Do you say filling? Do you say sandwich filling or sandwich topping or sandwich dressing? I think this is a regional debate within the US at least. I'm sure most people in the UK would probably just say filling. Although, not to give too much of a hint, I'll say at least one of those is an open-faced sandwich. So topping would certainly be more appropriate there. Innards. I like that. Sandwich innards. Yeah, that goes. That's a good one. So not for the first time today, I see Franken beans for presidents. Not exactly filled with confidence, but that has later been followed by some pretty strong performances. So we'll see if it's the same again. We've been rewatching old seasons of the Great British Bake Off recently, and in one of the early seasons, there's a contestant, Ruby, who every single task is like, "Oh no, I've done rubbish, I've done terrible, I'm so embarrassed," and then it gets to like the final. No spoiler alert, I guess. Sorry, spoiler alert if you're rewatching old series of Great British Bake Off. In the series from like 2014, Ruby gets to the final. Okay, yeah, back to beer next week is a good idea. I think the body, it really hides in there in that sweet cocktail. And we're waiting on just one more team to get their answers in, I think. Maybe it makes for better entertainment when I get a bit loose. Okay, so hit submit if it's you. Oh, hard day holidaying. Oh, so confidence radiating from the Van Goghs. They feel pretty sure that they've picked up a lot of points in this sandwich round. So it could come down to a close one in the final round yet again. Oh, I don't know if we have a. We don't have a tiebreak prepared, do we? I'll think of something. Just resting your eyes. I believe you. I believe you, buddy. I do the same thing all the time. Sometimes, your eyes just need a nice 8-hour rest. And your eyes alone. Okay, so our spots appeared. That means it's time to, first of all, run through the answers. And so, Elvis is peanut butter, bacon, and banana. I feel like just vibing it out. Even if you didn't know, you could tell that's the one that's got real Elvis vibes. Then a Reuben, which just inextricably capitalized. The Delhi classic corned beef, also known as salt beef in the UK, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and Russian dressing, served on rye bread. It's delicious. This is my go-to. All right. Then St. Paul is not from St. Paul, Minnesota. It's from St. Louis, Missouri. It's, Eku Young with just regular sandwich toppings on it. Weird. Apparently a mainstay of St. Louis Chinese restaurants. Then a Cuban, which, if you're from Miami, is made with roast pork, ham, Swiss cheese, yellow mustard, and pickles. Apparently, if you're from Tampa, you can add salami to that list. And this is a source of much inter-Floridian conflict. I think both versions sound good. Not the Key West version where they put lettuce and mayo and tomatoes in it before panini pressing, creating a hot lettuce scenario. I believe I have on stream condemned hot lettuce before. I'm just going to say Key West. I cannot, in more uncertain terms, condemn your hot lettuce ways. And finally, the hot brown doesn't contain any brown ingredients. Turkey, bacon, and Mornay sauce. It was created at the Brown Restaurant, which is somewhere. I don't know where it is. Yeah, I'm sure I I hope I haven't provoked the ire of Key West. All right, so let's see how people did there. So, yep, the Pangoffs with a perfect 5 as they predicted, bringing them to within 1 point of F&B for Presidents, who holds on to the lead with 34 points there. But it is between the two of them now. They have well and truly pulled away from the pack with a couple of strong rows back to back. But the back half are also jostling for position among themselves. Cormax Enterprises, Pine Tree Inc., and Flying Solo, each with not too many points separating them. What was the last one? Hot Avocado. Hot Avocado, just as reprehensible as Hot Lettuce. They're both crimes and should be condemned in no uncertain terms. Someone has something to say about Reuben's. The only one I knew for sure, and now I want one so bad, from Reuben's Deli in Montreal. Yes, that sounds delicious. I also want a proper Deli Reuben now. And we are on to our final general knowledge round. So, our first question in the final round: what is estimated to be the loudest event in recorded history? So, we're talking humans were around to record history. No meteorites that wiped out dinosaurs, which presumably would have had a lot of energy. No big bangs. So these are things that happened on Earth as well. I think we should clarify that. So was that the Tunguska explosion, the eruption of Krakatoa, the detonation of Tsar Bomba, or the B-15 iceberg breaks off the Ross ice shelf? All right, question 2. Today marks Dragon Boat Festival in China. One tradition associated with the holiday is the consumption of Zhonghuang wine, a traditional Chinese Huangjiu, or yellow wine, which has had which unusual ingredient added? And let me find my script here, because this question was too long to fit on the slide. Your options there: snake venom, crickets, fish eggs, or arsenic sulfide. Then question 3. Which liquid will make for the most pungent mustard when prepared from powder? This question might have worked its way in because I'd just written questions about sandwiches. Who's to say? Is that cold water, cold vinegar, or hot vinegar? So if you want the most piquant, the most spicy mustard, which of these should you use to mix with your mustard powder? Question 4, as cicada season reaches its peak, not here, we don't get them up here, to what order of insect do cicadas belong? Is that Hymenoptera? That's the order including bees, wasps, ants, etc. Is it Blottodea? That's cockroaches, termites, etc. Is it Hemiptera? That's the true bugs. Or is it Diptera, the flies? So which of those do cicadas belong to? And I'm not trying to resurrect the true crab controversy of a few quizzes ago with the use of the phrase true bugs. These are just terms that biologists use. And question 5, the final, maybe. We don't know if we're going to get a tiebreak question. What spirits is the base of British summertime classic liqueur Pimm's #1 cup? Is it vodka, gin, brandy, or rum? We have to have some boozy questions in. Our quizzes love it. Everyone always does well on the booze questions. So those are your final 5 questions. We'll have those scrolling around. I might just see what we can do as a tie break in case it comes to that, which it mathematically seems very possible. Oh, we do have one in the bank. Good to know. All right. So there you go. You've got your 5 questions. It all comes down to this, and it's between the soon-to-be-wed Van Goghs versus Frankenbeans for presidents, who, if they win, I think Frankenbeans actually get to be president. So there's a lot riding on this. The first Dachshund presidents. A historic moment. So among the, we turn up some bits and pieces when we're writing these. And hot dogs, we think of, we call Dachshunds wiener dogs and sausage dogs. Hot dogs were originally called Dachshund sausages. It went both ways. I love that. I love that little bit of that little tidbit. Yeah, I've become so Americanized. I'm saying tidbit. Why am I saying tidbit? Doesn't make any sense. What's a tid? Okay, so we're waiting on a couple of teams. Oh man. We never actually, no, I won't bring that up because it's actually a very tragic reason for that. Sometimes you just think of little anecdotes without remembering the full context behind them. Okie dokie. So hit submit, guys. I know it's a very tight race between our top 2 teams, and they will want to be considering every answer very closely. But we'll see if that early lead taken by Frankenbeans for presidents, they have not surrendered the lead once. It's very unusual for our Monday quiz. We've seen a lot of turbulence, and we've seen that lead grow and shrink. But here we are, still with a 1-point lead for Frank and Beans for president. Can they do a full 8 rounds holding on to the lead the whole time? I think this would be pretty much unprecedented in the Monday quiz. So here we go. Here's the answers. So the eruption of Krakatoa, I think. So all of these are things that happened at a time when there were enough like measuring instruments and ear witness accounts that pretty good estimates can be made of how loud these things were. And the Tunguska explosion estimated at about 300 decibels, and the eruption of Krakatoa estimated at about 310. Sounds pretty close, but you have to remember that decibels are a logarithmic scale. So it's like, I'm not going to try and do maths now, but it's like a lot more. I think volume doubles for every 10 decibels or something like that. Okay, then we've got arsenic sulfide. So that is kind of an orangey colored ore of arsenic that occurs naturally in some parts of the world. It's not as toxic as some forms of arsenic, but still probably not a good idea to drink it. Cold water. You want cold water for your Coleman's English mustard, or also for the Chinese style mustard you get with Chinese takeout. So heat and acid will both inhibit the formation of the really pungent mustard compounds. So cold water is best there. Although you can add a little vinegar after it's been made, and that will slow the degradation of those compounds. Then Hemiptera, the true bugs. So the true bugs are cicadas, shield bugs, stuff like that. And gin. So, it's British. Of course it's gin. And, obviously the Dutch like a gin as well. But yes, a London dry gin, I think, is the base of Pim's #1 cup. They do have other cups, as the #1 in the name would suggest. Most of them have gone out of production by this point, but they bring stuff back at various points. So they have had vodka and brandy-based cups at various points, but the #1, the famous summertime drink, is a gin-based liqueur. So as you know, it's okay. We still love you, Matt. As you know, we're doing every other week during the summer because we've got tons to do. We're very busy at the moment. And we know all you guys are busy. All you guys want to get out there and enjoy the summer. Everyone's been locked inside for a year. So understandably, we've had pretty light attendance the last couple of ones we have done. And so we want to keep it going over the summer. So we're going to do every other week. But obviously, people want to get out there and make the most of the post-COVID landscape, and also do stuff like get married and stuff. But so it'll be alternating. This week we did a Monday quiz, so next week we'll do a Thursday quiz. So that's going to be Thursday the 24th, and then the next week after that will be the next Monday quiz. So the next Monday quiz will be in 2 weeks. The next Thursday quiz will be on the 24th. So we'll see you on the 24th. If you're one of the people who does the Thursday quiz, I think most of you do. And then if you're just going to wait for the next Monday quiz, we'll see you in 2 weeks. But let's reveal the answers. I think, is everyone in? Oh, yes. Did we do the answers? Yeah, 30 with 38 points. Yeah, this is why I shouldn't drink vodka on stream. Okay, what a performance there for FNB for Presidents. Yeah, we did do the answers, of course. 38 points is the total there for FNB for Presidents. So 4 points and a bit of a downer ending for the Van Goghs. But luckily, they get the happiest ending of them all this Saturday. Congratulations, guys. You still take the second place with 33 points. Cormax Enterprises finishing there after a tight fought battle with Pine Tree Inc. for that third spot. So congratulations to F&B for Presidents. We'll see you all back here in about 10 days for the next speed quiz and in 2 weeks for the next Monday quiz where I'll either be not drinking or drinking beer. Definitely misjudged. Me and Matt both are experiencing the same problem. Well, his mostly just exhaustion based, I assume. But yeah, I think I misjudged the strength of this cocktail. Well, we all had fun. We had a fun time. It's been a good hour and a half. It's nice to be back after a couple of weeks off. Thanks for playing, everyone. Thanks, Hugo. Thanks, Van Goghs. Thanks, Liz. And we'll be back here in a couple of weeks. All right. Bye, guys.